Hi, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be doing a brief demonstration of Traversa, a corporate online booking tool. Traversa incorporates GDS information, which is travel agency information for all airlines, car, and hotel reservations in a point-and-click, user-friendly interface. Today we're going to log on with John Corbin. He is one of our travelers. There are multiple role types within the tool, traveler being the main one, obviously, and there are travel arrangers who can book not only for travelers but for themselves and guests. We'll click the sign in button. We've logged on to the home page now. John Corbin is designated as a traveler. Here across the top we are seeing the flights, hotels, and cars buttons, and these buttons allow the traveler to select individual itinerary items that can be booked. We also have the book travel button here, which will take us through kind of a wizard approach, starting with flights, then going to hotels and the cars, but by no means are you stuck in that path. At any point in time you can go to the cart and view the information or the pieces of the trip that you've saved and go right to purchase. Along the top right we have the My Trips folder. This is a storage area for your trips. It stores current trips, past trips, canceled trips, and so forth. We also have the My Account button, which is the profile information for the traveler, and the traveler has the ability to store as little or as much information as he likes in the tool. The Customer Service button here gives us an opportunity to select and view the contact information for the travel agency should they need assistance or have questions. Across the right here, just below that, we have the Documents section. We can store Word or PDF files for viewing of the traveler. We also have links, and these are customized links. We can add or remove any of these links that you like, or have no links, depending on the needs of the corporation. We'll go ahead and click on the Book Travel button here. That'll take us to the flights search page, and here we see that round trip is the default. By far and away most trips are round trip. We also have an option for one-way or multi-city trips by selecting the radio buttons that apply to those. Multi-city will search up to 4 destinations plus the connections that might be required to those destinations. In the search by box, we can search by price or search by schedule, and the difference between those two is when you search by price, the system pairs up the outbound and the return into kind of a package of flights that will provide the traveler with the best possible fare based on the dates and times that are input into this area. The difference between search by price and search by schedule is that when you search by schedule, the focus is schedule, meaning maybe you are price conscious, but it's very important that you be on a particular flight at a given time. So you want to select search by schedule. It'll allow the traveler to select the outbound flight, then select the return flight independently, and then it will price the selected itinerary based on the best fare available for those dates and times. So we can show you both of those. But right now we'll start with a search by price. We've logged in with John Corbin up at the top. He lives in the Chicago area. His preferred departure city or airport is the Chicago O'Hare International Airport, so that's the default here. Obviously if he's going out of a different airport on this particular trip, he can change that. He's going to be traveling to Denver, and if he knows the city code of Denver, he can type it in here. If he doesn't, he can type the first 3 characters of the city name, and up will come a list. We can select Denver Airport. If he would like to know the area airports within 100 miles of the Denver International Airport, he can select the airports button or link here. The default for this particular site is coach. If he's allowed to travel in a different class of service, he can select that here. We'll select the calendar. I like the visual. You can type in this box, but I like the visual of the pop-up. And we'll select a date out in the future, maybe May 1st. Returning on maybe May 3rd. Departure times on this site, again, default to 8 a.m. We can obviously make a choice and go anytime we like. And this is very important. This narrows the choices, unlike a corporate booking or a public booking tool where really you get everything under the sun. Traversa, being a corporate booking tool, focuses on efficiencies. And it does exactly what the traveler asks, rather than giving you everything under the sun, which might not pertain to your needs for a given trip. So we have our dates and times selected. If we know that there's a connection between these 2 cities, we can enter a preferred connection city or just leave it blank and the system will find them for you. If we only want to see non-stops, we check the non-stop box. Otherwise, leave it alone and the system will find flights for you. Since we're searching by price, it tends to mean we're a little more flexible, so we'll go ahead and leave these things open. time window is very important. Here we see the time window displayed here. The time window currently on this site is set to 2 hours as a default. That means the system will start searching 2 hours before and 2 hours after the times that were input above. So it kind of narrows your focus a little bit. It'll start searching at 8 a.m. and stop searching at noon with the 2-hour window on this particular demonstration. The return, it will start searching at 9 and stop searching at 1. So that's what the time window is about. And again, it's working on efficiencies. If we want to open that up, we don't know when there are flights, or if you're traveling internationally when you're not sure what time the flights are going, you'll want to open that window up to something more maybe than the 2-hour default or whatever happens to be there. You can always choose all day and that will give you everything. You can then click search, and what the system will do while it's searching is to check to see, do we have any travel policy? Do we have preferred carriers? Do we have negotiated fares and things like that? It will then provide us with the results based on that information that it's gleaning from the behind the scenes and give us a matrix. The matrix here gives a lot of information right up front. It tells us the airlines that serve the market for these dates and times. It provides us with travel policy. We do have a travel policy built into this particular site. The policy, you can see you have in policy and out of policy indicators. Again, for this particular site, we have a $200 cushion built in. So best fare plus $200 is going to be considered in policy. Anything outside of that will be considered out of policy. So again, lots of good information here right at your fingertips. We also have non-stop, one-stop, and two-stop parts of the grid here. If we scroll down, we can start seeing some of the detail that's associated with this. Keep in mind that the grid does reflect full dollar amounts, including the base and tax, so it's a total fare, as opposed to some sites out there who list just the base fares and then surprise you with the tax at the end. So we have total fare round trip. If we scroll down again, we're going to start seeing some of the detail. And here is an option on United. It's $183.60. So if we glance back up at the grid, we're seeing that this United least expensive is $184. It takes off the change and rounds up to the nearest whole dollar. So that's what that's about. Right, very clearly you can see that the total fare here, $183.60, which is a base fare of $150.70, plus a tax of $32.90 for a total again of $183.60. If we like that, we can choose it from the list. And move on to hotels. We can also see, again, bird's eye view, that if we prefer American, we could select American by selecting the column here, and the information in the detail area down below will change to American Airlines, and I'll do that now. The screen refreshes, and now the information below reflects American Airlines. So very easy to navigate for a particular airline if you have an interest. Having done that, though, we see that American's best fare on this particular date and time is $267, whereas United's is $184, and so forth. So even though we're in policy here, we might want to be fiscally responsible and select a $184 itinerary instead of the $267, again, depending on what we have. So to go back, we would just go back to United, or we can click on the cell, one of the cells in the grid, to go right to that, and scroll down. Now, I mentioned search by schedule, and we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to go back to more search options here, and we're going to do search by schedule, leaving everything else the same. Search by schedule, the difference is, again, it's going to allow us to select the outbound independent from the return and then quote the best fare, and I'll do that right now. So clicking on search, again, we're searching by schedule. Prices aren't important at this point. Schedule is more important, and we're going to see the times. We set a 10 a.m. with a 2-hour window, so we see an 8 a.m. This is a connection. Maybe we don't want to see connections. We want to see shortest trips first. So we can click on the shortest trips tab here, and it will bring us the non-stops up first. Here's a United, flight 929 at 12 o'clock. We said 10. Maybe we can find something a little closer. There's a 10 a.m. right there. 10 a.m. arrives in Denver at 11:37. We like that, so we're going to select it. Then comes the return. The outbound is saved up here for us. Then comes the return, and we see American at 12:40. We wanted an 11 a.m., so let's see if we can find something right at 11 a.m. We had a 2-hour window, so it's going to give us a lot of things right in between that. And if we scroll down the list, We see United at 1236 or United at 955. We could choose to stay on United, or we could go to a different carrier, 1143. Again, lots of options, allowing us to choose exactly the itinerary that we need for this particular trip. Because we wanted to go at 11, I'm going to go ahead and choose the 1143 flight and select it. Now that we have both the outbound and the return selected, the system is going to price the trip and give us the best fare available for the dates and times that we selected. It provides the matrix to us as a reference. And if we scroll down, we're seeing my selected flight. Again, this is the search by schedule result here. It's $237.60 for the flights that we chose. If we glance back up at the grid, we see that's not the least expensive. It actually is less than an American offering, but more than the least expensive United offering. If we scroll down, it retains our selected flights, but we can begin to see other fares and flights that are less expensive, and those are connections. Maybe we don't want that. Maybe we want to see what this flight's about, this 184. We can click on the grid right there on the 184 price. Again, the system retains your selected flight, so it doesn't lose anything. But on the next display, we do see the 183.60 fare. That's a 12 noon departure and a 12:36 return. So you compare that to what you have, and you can say, wow, these flights are exactly what I need. I can't deviate, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this. It's in policy, so I'm good to go anyway. Or maybe if you really do want to save some money, you can select the other option below it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to add it to the cart and continue. And that'll take us to hotels. So now you've seen the difference between search by price and search by schedule and the flexibility provided. Here with the searching for hotels, the default on this particular site is city location. So this would be the city of Denver. That's our destination. The system remembers that based on our flights. If we want to stay downtown Denver, we can leave that as it is. We can also click on the airport radio button, or if we want to search by an address or zip code, we can do that with the address button. Let's try the airport. If we click the airport radio button, you're noticing that the point of reference does then change to the Denver International Airport. The system remembers our dates and times based on our flights, but those can be changed as well if necessary. Search radius default is 20 miles. Let's go ahead and take that down. We want to be a little closer to the airport than that. If we scroll down to the additional search information, we can select chains. We can also choose something from the directory if we don't see the chain that we prefer here, or we can just leave it open and let the system search all the options. And we'll go ahead and do that now. The system, again, is going behind the scenes and going to see, do we have any preferred properties or preferred chains? Do we have negotiated rates? Do we have preferencing? Anything like that that might be available in the configuration, again, behind the scenes. And it's going to provide us with a map of the area, being the Denver International Airport being our point of reference, and we see that here. We also have multiple locations under the red blocks. If we hover over those blocks, we're seeing the information expand. Likewise with this one. If we had preferred hotels, we would see a green dot instead of the black square or the multi locations here. If we want to zoom in on one of those or go right to one of those, maybe the Hyatt House, Denver Airport, we can click on that and it will take us right to the Hyatt House property. Now this is in the detail area just below the map. We can zoom in and zoom out on the map too as necessary. So if we scroll down, we are seeing the Hyatt here. It does sort by distance as a default. If we wanted to sort by price, we can do that by clicking on the link. We have an All Properties button, a Preferred Hotels button, or a My Search. And My Search would have come up, or we could select My Search if we put a specific vendor or hotel chain in that box. It would show the My Search on that particular tab. So if we want to see the available rooms with this particular property, we'd click on Show Available Rooms, and that will give us the rates sorted low to high. So here we're seeing a $129 nightly rate. It's a deluxe non-smoking suite, full breakfast, free Wi-Fi. So it gives a brief description here on the room type, and it says it's in policy. So we can add this to our cart and continue. We can also take a look at the rate rules. If we want to know if there's a cancellation policy, we can click on the link here, and it will bring up a listing of the options we have for rate rules. And it says cancel by 6 p.m. day of arrival. And I'll move that into display. So cancel by 6 p.m. day of arrival. And I'll close that window. Let's go ahead and add this to the cart and continue, and it'll take us right to rental cars. Rental cars, again, the default is Denver because that's the destination. It remembers our pickup and dates and times based on our flights, and we can simply click search here to find rental cars. Now, if we have certain agreements or negotiated rates with rental cars, they will be displayed. Otherwise, we have a full display of all the rental car vendors, and we can use the scroll bar here to move right and left because this is a pretty big display. It starts on the grid here, sorting lowest to least expensive to most expensive. It lists this particular configuration displays all car types. And if we have a particular need or desire to see one over the other, we can click somewhere on the grid, or we can click the entire column to show only Hertz. If we scroll down the page, we can see the detail area of the rental cars. Now, what has come up first is the preferred vendors tab. If we want to see all vendors, we can click on the All Vendors tab, and that will show everyone down in the detail area below. Noticing if we do go back to the preferred vendors, we have negotiated rates that are listed, or preferred markings that are here. And if there is a negotiated rate for a particular vendor, we will see a negotiated rate little graphic there. Now, if we like Hertz, here's a full-size car. It's $84.49 a day, unlimited mileage. It gives us a lot of information right here in the middle of the screen. Again, $84.49 a day. The base fare for the total time is $168.98 with a tax of $52.14 for a total of $221.12. If we like that, we can go ahead and select that, add it to the cart, and continue. Once we've selected all three itinerary items, flights, hotels, and cars, we are presented with the Review Trip Details page, which you're seeing here. It does provide us with a summary form of the trip details. If we want to expand that information, we can do so by clicking on the Show Flight Details link, and it will expand each of the itinerary items to provide that detail. The system has assigned seats based on preferences in our profile. In this case, 32C on the outbound and 28C on the return. If we want to take a look at the seat map, we can do that by clicking on the Request Seats link, and that will show us the seat map for that particular aircraft. We're in 32C. It would be indicated by the little red graphic here. So if we scroll down, we can see that. If we'd rather sit somewhere else, maybe across the aisle, we can just select it, and it will make that change at the top to 32D. Flight 2 is here, and we can see that we're in 28C. Again, to make the change to 30, we can click on it, and it will make the change up at the top. Now, once those changes are selected, we do need to select the Request Seats button to make them more permanent. Now, this takes us to the Review Trip Details page again, but it asks us, this is customization that we've added on this particular site. What is the purpose of this trip? And we have the ability to do this or turn this off. You know, we can customize whatever you need. Maybe you do need to collect this data for your reporting purposes. Maybe you allow personal travel on your site. Any of this can be done or removed. Again, completely customizable. If we said client paid trip, there would be certain things that happen for that. If it's regular company business, we'd select that button and click continue. And the system will then take us down a different path for confirming this reservation. Again, on the purchase page, which is where we are today or right now, it does give us another opportunity to review the itinerary before we actually go to purchase. So there were the flights, there's the hotel, and there's the rental car that we selected. Down in the trip specific area, we need to we can have an opportunity to provide an approver name here. This is customized information as well. The trip specific information is completely customized. Maybe it's department code information, cost centers, maybe it's approver names or email addresses. It could be a myriad of things here, or we have nothing at all there depending on your needs. The form of payment section has the form of payment stored. If this is mandatory, we could gray it out like you see here where the traveler is not able to add a credit card. That's for flights. We can also completely remove it so they don't see this section at all. We also have the hotels section, and here we want the traveler to input his own credit card, which he has, an American Express card on file in his profile. So that's what you're seeing as the default, but we're giving them an opportunity to add a credit card as well. So those are all set. If there were unused e-tickets, they would be displayed here for use and selection by the traveler. Otherwise, we skip to Section 5, which is the review rules and complete purchase. To review all the rules, you'd click on the link here. It's quite lengthy because it does involve the rules for the flights, the hotel, and the car. Once those are read, we can check the box indicating we've done so and click the complete purchase button. Now, complete purchase is confirming the reservation. It's sending it over to the travel agency for queue for ticketing and quality control, and it presents the traveler with a confirmation page and a thank you for booking, along with agency confirmation number here, the airline confirmation number. If we scroll down, we can also see the hotel confirmation number and the rental car confirmation number. To view the full trip details, we would click on the View Full Trip Details button, which takes us to the My Trips folder, and there we can see the itinerary that we just booked in summary format. We also see the trip tools. We can print the trip, forward it to someone else, add it to our calendar. If you have Outlook, it will add an attachment to your calendar. You can cancel the trip here. You can rename it. You can view the trip in View Trip, which gives you an opportunity to view the e-ticket receipt once the ticket is issued. So lots and lots of things here for Traversa. That'll about wrap it up for today. We can talk more on a later session about my account and what's in there. But for now, thanks for joining us and have a great day.